Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV. As always, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking your time out to watching the videos, and interacting with the videos as well. So in this video, we're going to be talking about changes, right? Cricket West Indies, they are ringing in the changes to begin the 2025 season. And I'm sure if you're not aware, they have made changes to the captaincy of both the test team and the T20 team, right? So we're gonna be discussing it a bit. Looking at Craig Brathwaite's record as the test captain, for his tenure, and also looking at Ravman Powell's performance. Like I said, both of them have been Craig Brathwaite resigned and Ravman Powell was replaced, right? So we're going to be talking about his replacement as well and sharing a few stats also and just a general discussion about the topic, right? So just stick around to the end of the video as we discuss all of these things, right? But before I get into that, would really appreciate if you take a few seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel or for whatever reason, you have not subscribed as yet. Now is the perfect time to do so. It's free and simple ways for you to support the channel, but it definitely goes a far way in helping the channel, right? So take a few seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and then we'll get into the details, right? All right, so now that that's out of the way, right? So in an announcement yesterday, Cricket West Indies, they had a press release and they also released a video of Craig Brathwaite, speaking, about his decision to resign, as captain of the test team, right? And this comes ahead of the home series against Australia, which begins in May, I think. So, going forward, the test team will have a new captain. To some people, it might sound surprising, and to others, some might also say it's about time, right? But whatever way you feel about the situation, right? Really doesn't matter, because the change has been made, the decision is final, right? So now it's just for us to look forward, look ahead, and move forward, right? In the release, Cricket West Indies said, it now gives Craig Brathwaite an opportunity to focus more on his batting, right? And I'm sure a lot of y'all would agree with that as well, right? Because captaincy, or you might not know, but captaincy does come with a lot of pressure. It's one of those things where you constantly have to be thinking about the game, whether you're out there in the middle batting, right? In the field, right? Your mind is constantly working. So it can add a bit of pressure on you and lead to declines in areas of your game, right? So this added pressure now off his shoulder, gives him the opportunity to focus more on his batting, and hopefully, with him having that time to now focus and concentrate on his batting, it can lead to him producing even better results, for the team with the bat going forward, right? And I'll say it, his batting has been inconsistent, right? And even though, as if we're talking about the opening position and just in general the team overall, over that, because he's been captain since 2021, so over that 5-year span, he has been one of the top run scorers in the test format for the team, right? As inconsistent as his batting has been, right? Now that speaks to the level at which the West Indies have batted for sure, right? But nevertheless, he's been one of the main contributors with the batting, and we must give him credit for that. You know, being the captain and being the main contributor, not scoring runs as often as we would like, but when he does, you know, he has led from the front in numerous occasions, right? And there were some historic performances by the team under his tenure as well. Most recent, well, not most recently, but most memorable, of course, is that victory in Australia on the back of that Shamar Joseph performance. I think that one will stand out to a lot of people. But at the beginning of his tenure as well, there was that victory in Bangladesh, right? I think it was a 2-0 series victory in Bangladesh, right? In Bangladeshi conditions. And of course, 2022, 2023, when we defeated England, both at home and also in England, right? So those are some achievements, that the team, had under his tenure, right? So I must say, well done to Craig Brathwaite, and definitely wishing him all the best, going forward. So overall, in his captaincy, in his tenure, the team played 35 test matches, right? And their record in those 35 test matches was so we won 10, we drew 10, and we lost 15. Right? So again, the record 35 matches he was captain for. We won 10 matches, we drew 10 matches, and we lost 15 matches, right? So from a percentage standpoint, it's a 29% win rate and a 29% draw rate with a 42% loss rate, right? So 58% of the matches that he was captain, we either won it or drew it, right? Which I would say that's an okay stat, right? Obviously you would want the loss rate to be a lot lower, but also have to give him credit for the wins and the draws as well, right? So no, a new captain has not been announced. And there's a lot of uncertainty. Well, at least for us as fans, as it relates to where they would go next, right? So the question for me, or the question I want to ask you in the comment section, who would you choose as captain for the test team going forward now that Brathwaite has resigned, right? So definitely answer that question in the comment section. And an idea actually came to me this morning, and I'll share it, as I move on to the T20 captain and Shai Hope, right? But yeah, definitely share in the comment section, who would you select as the test captain going forward? And I think, this it also, can be like a booster for Brathwaite, right? Because now with him not having that captaincy role, right? Now he definitely knows that he needs to focus more and perform with the bat, right? Because any slip up with the bat now could lead to him not being included in the squad, right? Because obviously as a captain, you're an automatic selection, whether you're batting, whether you're batting well or not. Now with that being off his shoulders, right? If you're not performing with the bat, then that could mean you've been dropped from the squad, right? So, it can have positive impacts, right? And so moving on now to the T20 captain, and I must say this one did come as a bit of a surprise to me, right? But then so I'll say it came as a surprise to me. But as I did a bit of research, and I was looking at the stats, then actually see where it makes sense, right? So Ravman Powell, has been replaced, by Shai Hope as the T20 captain, right? Obviously under Ravman Powell's tenure, we did climb from, I think it was 9th in the rankings to going to as high as 3rd, right? Made it to the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup, and could have, and I said we should have beaten South Africa in that match. But yeah, those are bygones. But the team definitely saw improvements under Ravman Powell's tenure, right? And even Ravman Powell himself, right, in 2024, right, he was our leading run scorer in the T20 format, right? Scoring 533 runs, in 2024, right? But he's also one that a lot of fans would say, his consistency is not there enough. But when you look at the overall picture, especially for the year 2024, even though some people would say, they need him to be more consistent, he was fairly consistent in the 2024 season, scored 533 runs, right? So it did come as a bit of a surprise, right? But Shai Hope, being the captain of the ODI team, and the ODI team, we've definitely seen improvement in the ODI team. And when I look, and this is where the surprise came also, when I looked at Shai Hope's stats for the 2024 season in T20s, Shai Hope actually had the best average of all the batters, and his strike rate was also the highest strike rate among the top 10. Only Andre Russell had a higher strike rate than Shai Hope for the entire 2024 season for the West Indies in the T20 format, right? So Shai Hope, he scored 354 runs from just 13 matches in the 2024 season. That's in T20s, right? At an average of 35.40, strike rate 163, right? And like I said, only Andre Russell had a higher strike rate than him. I think Russell's strike rate was 193 from 11 matches, scoring 217 runs or something like that, right? So sheer hope, being that batsman where, initially in the early stages of his career, he was definitely not considered a T20 batsman. Now, in West Indian colours, we are seeing where, he has stepped up to the plate. Our one performance that definitely comes to mind right away is that 82 that he scored in the T20 World Cup against, I think it was against Afghanistan. That was a blistering innings, right? And also, you can think about his performances in the South Africa series and so on and so forth, right? So he has definitely, improved in the T20 format, so, I have no issues with him being the T20 captain, right? The stats back it up. The performance of the team in the 50 over version of the game definitely back it up as well. And Darren Sammy even said it, he, based on what Sammy said, he was pretty much saying, sheer hope is both his demeanor, his attention to detail, and so on and so forth, definitely bodes well for him and makes him an asset as the captain of the T20 team, right? So, now what does this change mean, right? Just you can definitely see a clear effort by Cricket West Indies to have consistency, across, especially the white ball format, right? So now She Hope is the white ball captain overall for both the 50 over team and the 20 over the T20 team as well, right? Sammy, of course, he has been named the test coach as well. So now there's only one coach for every West Indies senior men's team, right? So there's definitely a clear attempt by Cricket West Indies to have consistency, across the board, right? Also, from a batting lineup standpoint, I think, taking the captaincy from Ravman, it definitely, in my opinion, it gives the coaching staff, even more flexibility in the batting lineup now, right? Because again, as a captain, you're a sure pick, right? But as we all know, sometimes Ravman struggles with, especially against spin, against bowling lineups that have a lot of spin, right? So now, with him not having that captaincy, sometimes if he's struggling against a lineup that has a lot of spin, maybe, they will replace him with somebody else in the lineup, right? And so it gives them a bit more flexibility in the lineup, in my opinion. Right now, I do still think that Ravman Powell, has a lot to contribute to the West Indies T20 team. And like I mentioned earlier, he was our leading run scorer in the 2024 season, right? So I definitely don't think that he will be dropped from the team or even should be dropped from the team, because it wouldn't make any sense to drop your highest run scorer from the previous year, right? So there's definitely a place for Ravman Powell in the team. But, in situations where, he's struggling, especially against, what we know is his weakness, spin, then, there might be a spot for another batter who is more comfortable or who has demonstrated the ability to play well against those type of bowling lineups, right? So that's one plus I've noticed as well. That's a plus, giving the team more flexibility, in the T20 format as well, right? So those are just a few observations that I've made so far, right? As it relates to these changes that have been made by Cricket West Indies. So definitely share your thoughts in the comment section, as it relates to these changes. What do you think about them and how do you think the team will look going forward? Oh, and one more thing, like I forgot. So, like I mentioned, right? Cricket West Indies, there's definitely a clear effort to have consistency, right? So don't be surprised if Shea Hope is also named as the test captain. That's the thing that I was going to say, right? Don't be surprised if Shea Hope is named as the test captain. You know, there's no going around it, right? Shea Hope is one of our best batters. He's been away from the test format for a while, right? But on his day, you can't deny his class, right? So Darren Sammy is one of those coaches that's not afraid to make, big decisions, tough decisions, or even sometimes controversial decisions, right? As long as he sees where it will benefit the team, right? So this might be one of those decisions, and going based on the pattern of Cricket West Indies, trying to get consistency across the board. You know, I would not be no, I'm not saying he will, but I would not be surprised if Shai Hope is named the test captain as well. You know, obviously that would depend on Shai Hope and his ability, his plans. You know, because as you know, there's a lot of franchise cricket going on and players want to capitalize on that opportunity as well. Right. But you know, it's a thought that came to me, and I decided to share it. And so don't be surprised if Shai Hope is named the test captain when the test team is released as well. But that's all I have for you in this video, viewers and subscribers. You know, as always, do remember to like the video, share your thoughts in the comment section. You know, what do you think about these changes, and how do you think it will impact the team going forward? And as always, subscribe. That's all I have for you in this video, and I will see you in the next one.